Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And there was a small, it was like kind of decently sized manual update that's available in the iOS/Google Play Store for you right now. It'll become a must-do update probably later today. But it did add something new that we can expect for the 3.5 anniversary, and that is a new buff effect called Aegis. Aegis. I'm going to say Aegis because it reminds me of the Aegis Gundam from Gundam Seed. And if someone wants to tell me it's pronounced differently, well, then too damn bad. But this is a brand new buff that we have not seen before, just like how Synergy was a new buff for the second anniversary. What does it do? Well, thankfully, it's explained in the news. The new Aegis battle feature. So release date is from this current update. When the Aegis feature activates, a portion of the character's defense will be added to the attack when damage is dealt. And with the update, all battle characters will have the following new status attributes: Aegis rate, power, and resistance, and the initial value is 2%, just like everything else. So, Synergy adds a portion of the support character's attack into your attack. That is what the synergy effect does, and that is what we have used for a long time. So if we go to Diablo and he's got his synergy power 40%, he's taking 40% of some percentage of his supporting unit's attack stat and adding it to his own damage. So now what Aegis is going to do is going to take a portion of the defensive stat of Octogram Lumi or Blanc or whoever you have in a support slot. You're going to take a portion of this and add it to damage as well. So it is just another new damage effect, which is a good or bad thing, depending on how you want to look at it, because it means even more fishing for natural chances to crit, synergy, pierce, or now Aegis. So for the sweaty tryhards, that is some extra super duper pain right there, because as you can see from Diablo and looking at his unique stats, he has already a 2% Aegis rate, just like we have pierce rate 2% and synergy rate 2% and crit rate 2%, blah 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 blah. So we can expect that tomorrow, literally tomorrow, they will announce the new meta, and it will have something to do with Aegis power or Aegis rate, and it's going to be a brand new buff that for the past 3.5 years the game has not had. So it's going to be a very powerful buff for probably quite a while. Just like how Synergy was really powerful when you're going back through a lot of the older content where Synergy just didn't exist. Because if we pull up the spreadsheet, summons, Synergy didn't exist until Visions of Coleus in October 30/November of 2023. And then for the next one to blah 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 year and a half, they gave us varying teams of synergy. But it also means that for the previous 2 years, none of these stages, none of these beatdown battles, none of the conquests or story quests had synergy resistance. So if you were to just use synergy, you would immediately do a lot more damage, even against stages that may have pierce or crit resistance, because they don't have any resistance to synergy. Well, now it's going to do the same thing, where the past 3.5 years of the game, starting from Warrior's Mind 2.0 on down, is that they won't have Aegis resistance. So if you're to bring a team that's focused on Aegis, they have nothing to defend against it. There's no ceiling Aegis, there's no Aegis resistance on any of these beatdown battles previously out. So it's going to be a fairly powerful buff. And I did test a little bit, and I was able to get a little tiny snippet of gameplay where we managed to hit that 2% Aegis naturally, so let me pull that up. Okay, so the reason I was showing up Diablo is because I used him for the test. But here, we're just in Predator battle, we're type neutral. Commander Renard does not stack anything passively that will affect our damage output. He stacks weakness resistant, or weakness strike and ult resistance down, which neither matter when we're sending normal orbs and we're type neutral. So Diablo, when we send one of his orbs here, Diablo, let's do this, so 1, 2, 3. Diablo's normal orb here does 6,113 damage. Okay, give or take the factors that can go into it and the up or down plus minus you can get. But if we go a little bit further into the fight, you can see right here, we actually hit the Aegis with Diablo's skill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8592 now, in nice kind of gold and blue lettering. So it did go up by 2,400 points, which seems to be a fairly significant buff, just like how Synergy, when it hits naturally, does seem to be a pretty significant buff. So it's like 30-ish% extra damage increase, if not a little bit more. And then when we get units that can do it, adding Aegis power on top of that is going to make it go crazy, just like how Diablo and his 100% synergy power goes pretty hard when you can use it. I will assume the same thing. Now, defensive stats for characters is not generally considered the most supreme kind of stat in the world. Let's go ahead and take this down. We have a few different defensive metas. We just got one recently with the Reckoning team, and so like Hinata and Yuki, they have defense stats, so their defense is quite high. It's almost as high as their attack. So if you were to have a defensively focused team and then have synergy, or not synergy, but Aegis, their output would be, I'd say, maybe not equivalent, but it would certainly hit harder than what you would expect them to do if you were to just put on like normal attack buffs and all that. So does that foreshadow the fact that we're getting a defensive meta for the 3.5 anniversary, literally tomorrow? Maybe, maybe not. I'd say it's like a 50-50 split. I think they just want to add in a new buff to change up the gameplay a little bit and change up the buffs and things that they can and cannot do with certain teams. And it just adds another layer to building new teams and having them feel a little bit more fresh and interesting rather than just crit, pierce, and synergy, because it's been a year and a half since synergy came out, and a lot of teams use it. Crit, we actually don't get a lot of crit teams, honestly. Pierce is blah. But I think it is just a new style of damage that they're going to try and push. Whether or not that means we're going to have a lot of characters with much higher defensive stats to get us up into that power, possibly. We could see a lot more defensively focused characters than what we have seen for the past 3.5 years. We do still have them, and even though Diablo himself was not a defensive focused character, I mean, his stats on this team, 12,000 defense, and we were doing another 2,600 damage or something like that. Like, that's pretty significant, even for a character who doesn't have high defensive stats. So it will put also more stock into enchanting jackets with extra defense as well. So that's another thing. So right here, defense and crit resistance, or counterattack, well, that's not it, but that's for like defense. It will, having enchanted jackets for just raw defensive stats will help your Aegis damage if you're able to proc it. So that is another thing that you're going to have to take into account, is maybe getting a lot more of your gear enchanted if you are able to, like if you're at that point in your game where you can do enchantments. So I just wanted to point that out. That is the only thing that's in the news. We are less than 24 hours, let's say. So it's 11:25 right now, so 11:30 give or take. The live stream will be at 4 in the morning for me. So we've got some time to go, but it's not very long. Again, I will be live at 4 a.m. to watch the live stream and watch them play Jenga for an hour or something tomorrow morning. And then we will do a live stream reaction, we'll do the coverage videos, and then tomorrow at 7 p.m. So 24, 30, 32.5 hours from now, we will be summoning for whatever new meta comes, with most likely the Aegis feature as its main damage source. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Are you happy with another damage buff? Are you unhappy with that? How powerful do you think it's going to be when it's fully fleshed out on a full meta team? Let me know in the comments, but that's it for me. Take it easy, and I'll see you guys early tomorrow morning.